The government will begin subsidy reformation in 2022. Merger of 4 port SOE to overcome the problem of expensive logistics costs in Indonesia. Good evening, viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic, and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as wearing a mask, physical distancing, avoiding crowds, and cleaning your hands and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headlines. Let's open up market headline. Following the development of a new variant of COVID-19, the Ministry of Health is coordinating with relevant agencies to tighten the entrance to Indonesia. Spokesperson for vaccination of the Ministry of Health, Siti Nadia Tarmizi, explained that the government continues to anticipate the entry of new variants of the COVID-19. Nadia said that the Ministry of Health had coordinated with relevant agencies to tighten the entrance to Indonesian territory, both international ports and international airports. She revealed that 2.24% of Indonesian citizens and 0.8% of foreigners who came from abroad were tested positive for COVID-19. And for this reason, the task force for handling COVID-19 must tighten the process of screening procedures for international arrivals.
Kementerian Kesehatan selalu terus-menerus melakukan koordinasi dengan instansi-instansi terkait dalam rangka pengawasan di pintu-pintu masuk negara Republik Indonesia ini. Upaya tersebut adalah demi mengantisipasi masuknya varian virus COVID-19 baru ke Indonesia. Kami menghimbau agar pintu-pintu masuk ke Republik Indonesia seperti bandara udara, pelabuhan laut internasional untuk terus memperketat prosedur screening dan prosedur pengawasan masuknya pelaku.
To support the distribution of targeted subsidies, the government will begin reforming commodity-based energy subsidies to beneficiary base in 2022. And this effort will be carried out in stages taking into account the socio-economic conditions on community. The government will continue to encourage evaluation of the implementation of energy subsidy policies, including directing subsidies for electricity, LPG and diesel, so that they are right on target. Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati explained that the subsidy policy will be transformed in 2022, but still be adjusted to the conditions of the community. In her explanation, the policy for distributing energy subsidies will be changed from commodity-based subsidies to beneficiary-based subsidies. This will continue to be carried out in stages, taking into account the economic and social conditions of the community.
Subsidi energi menjadi subsidi berbasis orang atau subsidi LPG tabung 3 kilo dan subsidi listrik untuk langsung tepat sasaran. Pada tahun 2022, kebijakan subsidi energi akan diarahkan akan lebih tepat sasaran melalui pelaksanaan kebijakan transformasi subsidi berbasis komoditas menjadi subsidi berbasis penerima manfaat secara bertahap, secara berhati-hati dengan mempertimbangkan kondisi sosial ekonomi.
Data from the Ministry of Finance shows that only 36% of the 3 kilogram LPG subsidy is enjoyed by low-income people, while 39.45% is still enjoyed by the rich. Jakarta, Praharjo Patmo for IDX Channel. The Coordinating Ministry for the Economy reports that the distribution of People's Business Loans or KUR has reached 176.92 trillion rupiah as of September 6, 2021. The Coordinating Minister for the Economy ensures that the realization of KUR this year is also supported by various facilities, such as interest subsidies to ease off requirements. As many as 4.73 million debtors have received financing for People's Business Credit or KUR, which is the government's MSME financing program. Coordinating Minister for the Economy Erlangga Hartarto say that the realization of the KUR as of September 6 had reached 176.92 trillion rupiah, or 69.93% of the 2021 target of 253 trillion rupiah. Erlangga ensured that the KUR program was one of the solutions in increasing the resilience of MSMEs during the pandemic. The government also provides various facilities for access and administration of credit to reach a wider community. And for information, in 2020, the government recorded the realization of KUR reached 198.53 trillion rupiah, or higher than in 2019, which was recorded at 140.1 trillion rupiah.
Perhatian terhadap UMKM tidak hanya memberikan suku bunga rendah, tetapi juga dengan persyaratan yang lebih ringan, di mana KUR tanpa agunan ditingkatkan dari 50 juta menjadi 100 juta. Dan pemerintah juga melakukan relaksasi antara lain penundaan pembayaran angsuran pokok, perpanjangan jangka waktu, dan penambahan limit plafon KUR, serta relaksasi persyaratan administrasi.
And we're moving on to global update. Central Bank of Sri Lanka governor will step down September 14 as the nation faces a deepening forex crisis that threatens its ability to import goods and service debt. Meanwhile, Sangchi and the Legend of the Ten Rings stayed on top at the box office, collecting $35.8 million in ticket sales in its second weekend. And more stories on today's International Minute. Central Bank of Sri Lanka Governor Weligamej Don Lakshman will step down September 14 as the nation faces a deepening forex crisis that threatens its ability to import goods and service debt. His announcement at a briefing Friday comes as the South Asian island nation faces dwindling reserves and revenues, looming debt repayments, and struggles with an extended lockdown to stem record COVID-19 cases. A successor wasn't immediately named. Malaysia's Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob will sign a cooperation agreement with the country's opposition that is designed to shore up his support and end months of political instability as the government grapples with a surge in COVID-19 driven by the Delta variant. Malaysia's parliament began sitting on Monday for the first time since Ismail Sabri, a senior member of the United Malays National Organization, took power following last month's resignation of his predecessor Muhyiddin Yassin. Japan's government say more than 50% of the population has been fully vaccinated. Japan's vaccine rollouts began in mid-February, months behind many wealthy countries due to its lengthy clinical testing requirement and approval process. Inoculations for elderly patients, which started in April, were also slowed by supply shortages of imported vaccines. But the pace picked up in late May and has since achieved 1 million doses per day. Economy Minister Yasutoshi Nishimura, who is in charge of COVID-19 measures, told that about 60% of the population is expected to be fully vaccinated by the end of September, on par with current levels in Europe. Sangchi and the Legend of the Ten Rings stayed on top at the box office, collecting $35.8 million in ticket sales in its second weekend, according to studio estimate Sunday. The total was good enough for the best second weekend gross of any film during the pandemic, edging out the previous Marvel movie Black Widow. This year, relatively few films have held well in theaters, either because they've been streaming simultaneously at home or because moviegoers' attention fades. IDX Channel reports. Market headlines will be right back with deep inside coverage. Stay tuned.
Ya, halo, selamat pagi. saya adalah salah satu kandidat yang akan bekerja di perusahaan Bapak.
Oke, baik.
Terima kasih. Perkenalkan, saya Kana Merian.
Lagi interview kerja koneksi internet buruk. Makanya pakai Menshi Play, hanya 7 ribuan per hari. Bisa internetan dengan speed hingga 70 Mbps. Yuk pilih paket internet dan tontonan favoritmu sekarang. Menshi Play.
Presiden Joko Widodo tidak ingin lagi mendengar ada kasus suap dalam pengurusan perizinan.
Saya tidak mau lagi mendengar ada kesulitan yang dihadapi para pengusaha. Saya tidak mau lagi mendengar ada suap.
Yang penting menikmati proses, belajar dari semua proses karena sesuai dengan kehidupan gitu ya, semua berproses. Yang abadi di dunia ini adalah perubahan. That's what I think.
Sebenarnya lebih dominan tuh disebutnya apa?
Aku hanya melakukan apa yang aku suka dan aku hanya berusaha konsisten di situ gitu ya. Iya, sebut aja Tia Subiakto.
Seiring meluasnya cakrawala investasi di tengah pasar saham yang dinamis. Analisa mendalam diperlukan untuk menemukan saham berorientasi value yang menghasilkan kinerja yang tinggi. IDX Channel akan mengulas isu pasar dan pergerakan saham terkini. Saksikan ulasannya bersama analis terpercaya hanya di IDX Channel.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, stated that logistics freight costs in Indonesia are much higher than the world average. The OECD say this ultimately had an impact on the high prices of imported and exported goods. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, stated that logistics freight costs in Indonesia are much higher than the world average. OECD competition expert staff Ruben Maximiano said shipping costs in Indonesia were almost double the world average. This has an impact on the high prices of imported and exported goods. In 2013, he continued, postage in Indonesia reached 26% of the country's GDP. Even though it fell 5% in 2019 to 21% of GDP, the figure is still high. No need to go far. The results of the OECD study show that Thailand's shipping cost can be compared to the world. In 2019, the shipping cost of Indonesia's neighbors was only 16%. Ruben said the World Bank study stated that if the Indonesian government was able to reduce postage to the same level as Thailand, Indonesia was predicted to save $18 billion per year in logistics. Broadly speaking, he conveyed that the high postage rate had an impact on the price of goods or inflation, which ultimately affected economic and social welfare. On the other hand, with efficient logistic costs, prices can be reduced and the cost of doing business in Indonesia will be cheaper, so that investing in Indonesia will be more attractive to foreign players. From the various suggestions issued by the OECD, he said that one effective way to reduce shipping costs is to open the door for ASEAN logistics companies to enter Indonesia in order to increase the level of competition. IDX Channel reports. And meanwhile, one of the obstacles faced by the logistics sector in the midst of this pandemic is the scarcity of containers. This issue has also received the attention of President Joko Widodo, where the President requested that problems related to the scarcity of containers be studied in depth, as stated by Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Erlangga Hartarto, in the following statement.
Beberapa sektor, yaitu yang terkait dengan logistik, Bapak Presiden meminta agar logistik ini dikaji secara mendalam karena kenaikan logistik termasuk kontainer ini, karena ini merupakan kejadian juga di level global akibat dari pandemi COVID, di mana jumlah kapal yang beredar berkurang dan new build atau kapal yang baru juga sedang dalam proses, dan tentu harga saat sekarang berbeda dengan di periode yang lalu. Maka tentu tadi ada usulan agar para pemilik kontainer ini untuk dikumpulkan dan diminta bantuan agar bisa membantu terkait dengan.
4 state-owned port companies have officially merged into Pelabuhan Indonesia or Pelindo. The Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises decided to merge these 4 port companies to overcome the problem of very expensive logistic costs in Indonesia. Four state-owned port companies have officially merged into Pelabuhan Indonesia or Pelindo. The Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises decided to merge these 4 port companies to overcome the problem of very expensive logistics costs in Indonesia. It is hoped that this merger will be more effective in coordinating and also more efficient, because so far the existence of 4 separate Pelindos has resulted in a lack of coordination. Previously, the Deputy Minister of SOEs, Kartika Wiryoatmojo, revealed that this merger had been planned for a long time but has only materialized now. Officially, the merger will take place on October 1st, 2021. This merger is expected to become an integrated roadmap. Second, no less important, is that operational issues, service and speed can be maintained at all ports in Indonesia. Furthermore, this merger is also expected so that the company's investment allocation can be more optimal nationally, and it is hoped that it will contribute more to the national economy. IDX Channel reports. Still from the logistics sector, express delivery services are one of the sectors that play a vital role during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Association of Indonesian Express Delivery Service Companies revealed that the national average shipping volume during the first half of 2021 grew by around 30%. Express delivery services are one of the sectors that play a vital role in supporting the economy during the COVID-19 pandemic. Driven by the trend of online shopping, the logistics industry has become a small business sector that is able to grow. Chairman of the Association of Indonesian Express Delivery Service Company or Asperindo, M. Feryadi, said that the logistics industry can continue to grow because it has become one of the main needs of the community, especially after the entry of the e-commerce era. In Asperindo's record, the national average delivery volume throughout the first half of 2021 has grown by around 30% compared to the same period last year. Although he did not go into details, Feryadi said there had been a shift, more local deliveries within cities than between cities or provinces. As is known, since the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, logistics has become one of the essential industries that are allowed to continue operating. Moreover, logistics is the backbone of the community's needs during the pandemic. He is optimistic that the logistics industry will still be attractive even under normal conditions. On the other hand, with relatively small barriers to entry, businesses and investors can also be agile to develop businesses in the logistics sector. Logistics companies are also increasingly rife with increasingly diverse service options. The rise of investment in the logistics sector is expected to make the shipping service industry more competitive, thereby creating healthy competition and enabling the public to have more choices of services. IDX Channel reports. Market headlines will be right back after this quick break with informations from the capital market sector. Stay with us.
Awali hari Anda dengan beragam informasi bisnis terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. Power Breakfast, informasi terkini seputar ekonomi, bisnis, pasar modal, dan industri kreatif yang dikemas secara ringan. New Screen menyajikan informasi ekonomi, bisnis, dan keuangan. Market Headline menayangkan berita ekonomi dan bisnis dalam bahasa Inggris. Saksikan program-program berita ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya, live hanya di IDX Channel. Your Trustworthy Economic, Business, and Capital Market Channel.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangivera Tjong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Session Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut.
Indonesia dipastikan sudah terlepas dari jurang resesi ekonomi setelah berhasil tumbuh positif.
Pemerintah melihat bahwa Q4 adalah potensi untuk kita membalikan keadaan kembali. Kita memperkirakan
Welcome back on Market Headlines. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement, earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,080.06. And then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,054.82. And then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at level 6,088.16. In short, JCI went down 0.11%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got transportation and logistics as the leader of strengthening trend. That went up 2.11%. Cyclical sector went up 1.14%. Technology went down 1.6%. And basic went down 0.74%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBYB went up 5.39% to the level of 1,565 rupiah per share. Arto went up 0.67% to the level of 14,925 rupiah. Agro went up 8.49% to the level of 2,300 rupiah per share. And Yellow went up 8.11% to the level of 480 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBRI went down 2.12% to the level of 3,700 rupiah per share. Aneka Tambang went down 2.7% to the level of 2,520 rupiah. BMRI went down 0.81% to the level of 6,150 rupiah. And United Tractors went down 1.65% to the level of 20,875 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,225. Rupiah was closed at the level of 14,218. In summary, rupiah went up 0.66%. In first semester of 2021, Ciputra Development recorded a pre-sales of 3.56 trillion rupiah or 61% of this year's target of 5.87 trillion rupiah. In first semester 2021, Ciputra Development recorded a pre-sales of 3.56 trillion rupiah or 61% of this year's target of 5.87 trillion. Ciputra's President Director Chandra Ciputra stated that the achievement of marketing sales during first semester of 2021 experienced an increase of 77% year-on-year. He revealed that the government's policy in the form of VAT incentives contributed 25% to the achievement of Ciputra's marketing sales of 901 billion rupiah. He further detailed that the achievement of marketing sales for the first 6 months of 2021 came from sales of houses and land of 2.81 trillion rupiah, shop houses of 302 billion rupiah, apartments of 412 billion and offices of 40 billion rupiah. On the same occasion, Director and Corporate Secretary of Ciputra Development, Tulu Santoso, said that the achievement of marketing sales was contributed from various regions. Jabodetabek is still the largest market segment with a contribution of 1.45 trillion rupiah, equivalent to 41% of marketing sales achievements. IDX Channel reports. As an effort to maintain the positive trend of financial performance until the end of this year, management of Ramayana Lestari admitted that it will maintain the implementation of the cost efficiency strategy. The management of Ramayana Lestari Sentosa admitted that it will maintain the implementation of the cost efficiency strategy that has been carried out throughout the first half of 2021 in an effort to maintain the positive trend of financial performance until the end of this year. Ramayana Lestari's Corporate Secretary Setiadi Surya hopes that throughout second semester 2021, there will be no more situations such as the implementation of PPKM, which has suppressed the company's sales in the first half of this year. He further admitted that the government's policy of loosening the restriction on public mobility was sufficient to boost the sales value of Ramayana. During the first 6 months of 2021, the company recorded sales of 2.73 trillion rupiah, an increase of 24.5% year-on-year. The increase in sales was driven by a surge in sales in the second quarter of 2021, which reached 1.96 trillion or grew by 134%. Meanwhile, Ramayana's total net profit in the first half of 2021 was recorded at 137.8 billion rupiah, or grew up to 2,470% year-on-year. The company's net profit is equivalent to 5% of Ramayana's total sales. IDX Channel reports. Triggered by the growth of financing and third-party funds and lower cost of funds, Bank Syariah Indonesia posted a net profit of 1.48 trillion rupiah, increased by 34.29% year-on-year. Triggered by the growth of financing and third-party funds and lower cost of funds, Bank Syariah Indonesia as of first semester of 2021 managed to record a significant net profit. The company posted a net profit of 1.48 trillion rupiah, up 34.29% year-on-year. According to Bank Syariah Indonesia's Risk Management Director, Tiwul Widyastuti, the quality of financing is evidenced by the downward trend in gross non-performing financing from 3.23% in the first semester of 2020 to 3.11% in the first 6 months of this year. This year, to improve its performance, the company focuses on maintaining the quality of financing and managing the coverage ratio, while still encouraging healthy business growth and accelerating digital and operational capacity. As of June 2021, Bank Syariah Indonesia has restructured bank-wide financing of 29.42 trillion rupiah, or 18.22% of the total financing portfolio. IDX Channel reports. And step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here it is, an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. Close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And viewers, we can get through this pandemic by staying disciplined on health protocols. Everyone must wear a mask because it can protect us from COVID-19. Use masks properly and encourage family and people around us to do the same. I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.